What's happened, my people? This is your captain AJ Murky here, and welcome to another aviation adventure. And today I'm going to be leaving the continent of Europe for the very first time since 2017. Now, the last place I went to was Lagos, Nigeria, which is in the continent of Africa. And although it was nice having to meet the culture, meet my family, understand my roots more, I felt like there were more places to travel. And that's why for the very first time, I'll be heading out west towards North America, across the pond, specifically the United States of America. I've been wanting to go there for a while. I'm so excited. I'm actually nervous. I'm genuinely nervous. I've never been to this place before. I mean, yeah, here, look, United States, it's up there. It's literally right behind there. I can't even, you know what I mean. But yeah, I've been wanting to go there for a while. Yeah, genuinely, like I said, I'm nervous. I don't know what it's gonna be like there. You know, I've known London, Germany, Netherlands, Switzerland, so it'll be interesting to see what the States is going to be like. Specifically, I'm going to be going on New York, and the airline I'm going to be flying on is part of the SkyTeam Alliance, and that is Delta Airlines. It's not going to be United Airlines, too expensive. It's not going to be JetBlue. I think they're going to start in May. Not Poxycan Airlines, because they only fly to Philadelphia and Charlotte. So, yeah. Before we get right into this, I want you guys to do me a big favor. Like this video right there, smash that subscribe button. I want to get them numbers, you know what I mean? And hit the notification bell to be notified. So yeah, right now, I'm going to head over to the US pre-clearance, which is literally right behind me, AKA, as I would like to call it, the gate of questioning. So let's go.
Ask us where we live and what we're doing.
Guess who's made it past US pre-clearance?
Get in.
Oh, bro, I thought it was gonna be worse. I thought they were gonna like press me or something, bro. I was breaking it, like, but then I had to do some breathe-ins, breathe-outs, and I had to tell myself, man, oh, it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be grand. I'm just gonna head over and find somewhere to sit so we can tell the aircraft that I'm gonna be flying on for today. So the aircraft I'm going to be flying on is an aircraft that most of us wanted to see on Infinite Flight, but was heavily dominated by the Boeing 787 midliner. She's as old as the 757, but as reliable as the A330, and looks as if the 777 and the A350 just had a baby, albeit the other way around. Ladies and gentlemen, for the very first time, I'll be flying on the Boeing 767. Nah. Beautiful plane, man. Beautiful plane, still around. You don't get to see much of them in the skies now. I mean, Iceland Air still operating them, United, LATAM, Uzbek Airways, Azur Air. I can go on and on with the list. It's not many, but yeah, you know what I mean. The specific variant I'm going to be flying on is the Dash 300 ER. There is the 400 ER, which is longer, and then you got the Dash 200, which is shorter than the Dash 300. So pretty curious to see what this plane is about. You know, I've flown the 757-300 before with Condor twice, and it was amazing, you know, sitting in front of the engines, hearing those RB211 sounds. So yeah, first time flying on a 767, but also my first time flying long haul, and it's gonna be over 7 hours. I thought it was gonna be 6. I'm not gonna do that again. All right, I'm gonna stop with this, the nonsense brain rots number again. Or should I keep going? I don't know, but still, it smells like piss. Oh, never mind. Okay, it's someone's food. Yeah, I'm curious to see how this all goes. Also, Delta, I'm curious to see what Delta is about. You know, obviously everyone has been raving that airline, saying that it's the best airline and all that kind of stuff. So I have to see for myself if what you lot are saying is true. All right, so here I am, standing in front of the Boeing 7. Lokunana. Right, that's gonna be my ride. November 197 Delta November. 28 years of age. Damn! Pretty curious to see what it's like inside. And yeah, let's see what's up. Let's see what's up, man. Right, so here I am. Just standing there waiting. Boarding has already begun. I'm in the jetway. So yeah, oh man, I'm so excited. I think that's why I'm bloated in the face. It's because I'm excited to see what that plane is like. If this plane can speed up a lot quicker, and yeah. All right, So here I am seated at 43 Alpha on the Boeing 767 for the very first time. And here's what we got here. We got a blanket, we got a pillow, and we got a nice view outside. Nice wing view. I'll show you more of it on the back camera, but yeah, still, that's where we are right now.
First impressions, I have to say that the seat is cramped as like it's given Lufthansa's city economy, especially when I stretch out. Like bro, how am I gonna survive a 7-hour flight? Please tell me. In the seat pockets, you'll find a safety card and a guide for the Wi-Fi. And that's pretty much all I can show you for now, as we're just about to get ready for pushback. But don't worry, there will be more to see when we get airborne. So yeah, see you in a bit.
Alright, so here we are into the air, currently climbing to our cruise altitude. I didn't really have time to go through everything on the seat because I was busy talking to someone next to me, so yeah, why not do it now?
By starting off with an adjustable tray table, which provides ample space for your iPad or anything large or frequent like snacks or food. However, it's a bit flimsy, especially when stowed away given its age. The seat itself has a decent amount of padding, but not enough room for me to feel comfortable for a 6 or 7 hour flight. And later on, you lot will see how that affected me. On the right side of the armrest, there is a recline button, which gives me the ability to recline, albeit use my body strength to manipulate that mechanism, making that button pointless of a feature. It also has an adjustable headrest or foldable wings, where one wing folds and the other just flaps about. Like literally. Prior to departure, the crew handed us a pair of wired earphones in which you can connect to the 7-inch in-flight entertainment screen, which has a 3.5mm headphone jack and a USB port to charge your device. On the movie section, there are a decent selection of movies to watch. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what FNAF 2 is all about, as I've already watched the first installment and it was amazingly nostalgic. Next on the series section, again there is a decent selection to watch, however most of them didn't really stand out to me, to be honest. There's also the kids section, which also didn't really pique my interest, especially as a grown man of 24. The games offer a good selection for killing time. I mean, I even tried out one of them, which is the brain teaser, and it was actually not that bad. It made me look dumb a little bit there, but I'm not going to show you how I played it. For music, there are YouTube music playlists like 90s, hip hop and relaxation. I prefer my own Spotify playlist, which I listen to throughout that flight. And that's all there is to show from the IFE. Other than FNAF, I feel like they should have added more variety from the movies. Same for the series section, as some of what I'm after seeing didn't really pique my interest. I know this How I Met Your Mother, but honestly, I don't give a shit about it. The only thing I give a rat's ass about is the Wi-Fi on board. Connecting to it isn't really much of a problem, though you might encounter a slight error, which is completely fine. You just need to switch the toggle off and back on again, and then you'll instantly get a pop-up where you'll then tap connect. You would then be sent over to Safari by tapping Safari, and that's where you have to put in your SkyMiles account, if you have one already. If you don't, do it prior to departure. Otherwise, you're gonna have to spend the next 6 hours of your flight raw dogging it. And once you get there, Bob's your uncle, Mary's your auntie. Now I did give it a speed test, which honestly isn't really that fast, but does the job of loading up Instagram and flight radar very well. Service began with a hot towel and a beverage of choice, where I chose a cup of ishka.
Alright, so here is our meal. So we got pesto chicken along with another vegetable, I don't know what it's called, and then desserts. Very healthy options, very small portions, but it's good, it's good. So let's give it one more taste.
So I started off with the cheesy rice, and not gonna lie, it tasted good. Next onto the pesto chicken, where it tasted like chicken but cooked well and seasoned well. Then the green beans and the salad bowl. After inhaling those trays, I next move on to the desserts, being the caramel tiramisu, which tasted exactly how I expected it to taste. After satisfying myself from that meal, it was time for me to get up and do one last thing.
Alright my people, here we are inside the loo. Oh no, let's not call it the loo, we're gonna call it the Jack's. Yeah, that's what we're gonna call it, the Jack's review. And first impressions, it's cramped. It's actually cramped, I won't lie. Same as the seats. The seats is cramped, bro. I tell you, it's cramped. I can't even explain it, bro, it's cramped. But yeah, right now we are halfway, and everything's quiet. It's all dark because it's bright outside. It's too bright. Anyways, I'm just give you guys a show on what the toilet looks like, the Jack's looks like. Yeah, it's a bit of a mess. I mean, everybody has used it, so yeah.
On my right, there is a mirror, and you can see by me tapping my head like a chimpanzee, there appears to be more ceiling height.
Alright, so we are 4 hours in, and I'm not gonna lie to you, the discomfort is after kicking in now. Like the seats, it's not doing me enough justice. You know, like we only got like around under 3 hours left, so I'll still hold on anyway. You know, I've just had a bit of a walk up and down, just run some laps, so yeah. I've just finished watching the Venice Freddy's 2. Amazing, brought back so much memories. I think that's the best part about the movie. It's just the animatronics that came through, you know, the weathered ones, the toy animatronics, and then obviously bringing back the old ones from the first installment as well. So yeah, other than that, I don't think there really is much to say from there. I'm just gonna relax, try and survive on that plane and see what happens.
I spent majority of my time listening to music and staring at the map off the IFE screen and Flight Radar 24, and while I was walking around the cabin, I did come across a mini snack bar where I collected a corny muesli bar and a Madeleine. Here's my pre-arrival meal served by the crew. The first one was the chicken and chive hand pie, which at first had a mediocre taste because of the flavour until it got good after that second bite. And second is the shortbread biscuit squares with the dark chocolate on top, which tastes exactly like how I expected it to taste. Alright, so that's all there is to show from that flight. I really hope you enjoyed that part. With that being said, no yapping, it is time to make our way down to the Big Apple. So yeah, enjoy the cinematics.
All right, finally made it to the United States of America for the very first time. But yeah, I left my mic on the plane, so I had to wait for a while for them to give me the mic. Luckily, it's not completely lost. It was literally attached to the seat as well, so it's grand. Anyways, I'm gonna head over to exit and then head to public transport, find my accommodation, and then yeah, we can finally breathe. The flight was actually not too bad though. 7 hours. I'll be frank and honest. No Lampard. It was nothing. It was genuinely nothing. Like, I could do this for breakfast. I've been through the 6-hour flights to Lagos, so I know what it's like. But yeah, I don't think there really is much to say than to just enjoy this city. So yeah. Alright guys, so Captain AJ Murky here. Welcome to another aviation adventure. Well, actually, this is going to be a continuation of that aviation adventure where I'm flying back to Dublin with Delta Airlines on their Boeing 767. Alright, so I've returned back to the airport after a trek of a train ride just to get there. Everything was smooth except for getting through security, which was annoying as us passengers had to be relocated 2 floors down due to the queues on that floor. And thankfully, I made it through and back at airside. Now, let's head over to the gates and try kill some time before my flight arrives by doing some plane spotting. Coming in from Atlanta Hartsfield Jackson is my ride, November 180 Delta November, who had his first flight since April of 1992. I mean, wow, 34 years. That's literally the same age as Spirit, which is no longer with us, unfortunately, but that will be further discussed in the future video. As it is my second 767 flight, it is time to get on board and suffer on this plane. So here I am inside the Boeing 767 again, seated at 41G, where you get a nice view outside the window. As you can see, it's overwing as well. Not really overwing. The seat is fairly the same. There's really nothing going on there. Legroom's pretty much the same as the last flight. You got the same in-flight and same in-screen, the same stuff. You know, really nothing crazy going on. So yeah, I might have to put my bag on top of the overhead lockers because I really want some room. I don't want an uncomfortable flight. So yeah, upon entering that flight, greeting the cabin crew, I didn't even greet the cabin crew properly, man. It was such an awkward greeting, because throughout greeting the cabin crew, they said, "Hi, welcome on board." I said, "Good morning." I'm like, it's not morning, it's freaking evening. Like, make it make sense. It just comes to show how fried my brain is. But yeah, anyways, one thing I can say about this one is the fact that the window is actually bigger than the likes of a 737 or a 757. It's really mad. But yeah.
More mentally inflated by blowing into the tube at shoulder level. I.com using your browser.
just climbed from 35,000 feet to 36,000 feet. So yeah, flight's looking grand. There's really nothing going on that flight whatsoever. Yeah, the Boeing 767, it's got to go because I had to fight with those windows and it just refused to go down. So I was like, you know what, I'll just leave it there because it's not like it's going to do anything for me anyway. You know, I'll be able to see the sunrise by the time we go over the Atlantic Ocean. So yeah, we've gotten ourselves some hot towels as usual. I did manage to connect myself with the Wi-Fi, and I didn't really check the Wi-Fi, the speed of the Wi-Fi. Honestly, I don't really care about the speed of the Wi-Fi as long as it's working well on the iPad, which I'm using right now. That's literally all that matters the most. Alright, so the food is here, and so is the turbulence, as we're going through a bumpy ride. Well, let me show you what it looks like.
I went for the same chicken option but different dish, where in the small tray you'll find the same green beans but with the mashed potatoes. However, the chicken is chopped in pieces. For dessert, I got a lemon blondie. And finally, the chickpea salad as the appetizer. Taste-wise, the chicken dish was mediocre at best, as in it had a saltier taste compared to my previous flights. The chickpea salad tasted bland, which is what salad generally tastes like, though it would have been nice if they added the dressing on the side to enhance the taste. The lemon blondie was again alright, nothing too crazy. After easily destroying that meal, the crew served us a beverage of choice in which I opted for a cup of tea to hopefully wind me down, which was a fail because I couldn't sleep throughout. Most of my time spent on that flight was listening to music, even listening to a couple of playlists on the IFE with a working pair of wired earphones, because on my last flight I can only hear with one ear. I was also filming the sunrise and monitoring both the flight map and Flight Radar 24 until the crew came through for the pre-arrival meal.
Alright, it is morning. The sun has shined, and I've got myself a bit of brekkie. So as you can see, I've got myself some black coffee and an egg and cheese calzone. So we're gonna see what it tastes like. Right now I'm only tasting it though. So it's not too bad.
Right, so that's pretty much all there is to that flight, as there really isn't anything eventful to talk about nor to show for. Now that we have crossed the west coast of Ireland and began our top of descent, I would like to summarize that flight by starting off with the 767. First, I'd like to say that the 767 is a good looking aircraft, especially when the sun hits it, whether on the ground or in the air, fitted with or without the winglet devices and offering 3 different engine options. I mean, hell, I even got inside the cargo bay of the FedEx 767, but yeah, that's as far as I can go with that plane, because the interior is incredibly uncomfortable, especially for flights over 6 hours. Now don't get me wrong, it's old. I shouldn't really be expecting highly of that aircraft. But because it was my first time flying on it, and I was so excited, after getting off the 777-300ER back in 2017, and it having a 232 configuration, I would expect it to be a bit comfortable. Way more comfortable than the 320s. But no, as I sat inside that plane, oh my goodness, it felt like Ryanair for 6 hours. There's not even Ryanair seats, it's more like EasyJet seats. And I had to tread carefully in my movements because I don't want to elbow someone beside me. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So yeah, flying on that 767 flight in economy class is not for the weak. If you're strong enough to do it, cool, but nah, I can't do that. To be fair, I should have known better than to do enough research so I can see how others experience flying that specific plane in that same class, as opposed of again going off my assumptions and expecting highly of it just because it's new to me. Now I'm glad I got to fly in that plane, but I'm also glad that they're gonna be retired in 2028 and are being replaced by 16 more Airbus A330neos for 2029. I'm also not forgetting about the 30 firm orders for the 787-10. However, they won't be delivering in 2031.
Before I go further into talking about my Delta experience, I want to digress and show you a view that I've been wanting to record for a while, and is one of the reasons to why I picked this seat on the right hand side of the cabin, and that is my town, Navan, which is cool to see from above. Just seeing my town from above at 16,000 feet has to be one of my biggest highlights within my aviation adventure. Last time I flew over there was 3 years ago in 2023, where I was in the ATR coming in from Glasgow. The only difference was that it happened at night, whereas this one happened in broad daylight. As for Delta, the service was great, but it was basic. Even though the seats were cramped legroom wise, it does have a decent padding, though it can get uncomfortable when hitting that 2-hour mark. The recline was decent yet easy to manipulate. Luckily underneath they don't have the in-flight entertainment box or a physical divider between the seats underneath, so I'm gonna give this one a 5 out of 10. The service was good. We were given hot towels and our food arrived promptly, which I really appreciated. Hopefully BA takes note of this. On the outbound flight, the food was delicious, especially the rice flavored with cheese and the well cooked and seasoned chicken. The salad and appetizers, particularly the caramel tiramisu, were also great. However, the food on the return flight was average. I've already went over the taste, so really no points repeating myself on it. One thing I do not like about the food are the portion sizes. The food was easy to eat that I had to inhale everything on that tray. It even got to the point that during that flight, I had to take out my wrap just to fill that void. I even had to take some of the free snacks at the back of the galley they offer, which is what saved me during that flight. I feel like Air France, KLM and Lufthansa should adopt them. Or maybe they have. I don't know, because as a European traveler flying out of Nigeria and other places around the world, this is something that is needed for flights between 6 to 10 hours. I know you can buy snacks at the airport, but most people don't buy them given how expensive they are, especially in this economy. Sometimes I do buy them, but that's a case of treading carefully on how much I'm actually spending. So overall, I'm gonna give this one a 7.5 out of 10. The in-flight entertainment was decent. There really isn't as many movies, nor are there any series to watch. However, I found that there was more variety of music to listen to on the in-flight audio section, even though I can listen in on Spotify. The only thing that saved the IFE experience was the Wi-Fi on board. However, you can only connect to one device and not two, as well as having a SkyMiles account to access that. Otherwise, I did enjoy playing mini games and exploring the flight map with different views and angles of our flight progress. Even exploring the fleet page, showing us other aircrafts they operate, which I already know by now thanks to planespotters.net. So I'm gonna give this one a 6 out of 10. The staff were professional at their jobs. They were welcoming when I got on board, even though I was a bit awkward towards some of them, but regardless, they did what they had to do to ensure that most of us were well taken care of, as they should, as that's what they're paid to do. I haven't gone around to talking to some of them because I'm more of an ambivert, half introverted, half extroverted. The only person I've talked to was that passenger next to me on that flight to New York, so yeah, I'm gonna give this one a 9 out of 10. Lastly, the cleanliness, which is a bit of a lackluster, except for that hairline crack on that seat back, which was minor and has nothing to do with it being dirty and more to do with the age of those seats. The tray tables were clean, though I do try to put in the effort of wiping up because hygiene is number one. I'm not trying to catch any diseases in big 2026, especially with that hantavirus going around. Why I call it a lackluster is because of the jacks. The floors were wet and the toilet was unkept. It would have been nice if the crew came in and cleaned it all up, but I guess that's not really their job and more of the ground cleaners. But still, every little helps. Shout out to Tesco. I'm gonna give this one a 5 out of 10. My Delta flight was good and was exactly what I expected from others that have raved about it. It seems like a reliable option for US flights out of Dublin and certainly does bring the necessary basics when it comes to economy. However, when compared to other airlines like Emirates, Air France or Singapore, it does fall more on the mediocre side as it can get way too basic. Even the seat back, where you don't find any extra accessories like a remote control for the IFE or even a cup holder. The lunch service or dinner service was also basic in a way where you don't get any menus provided or starters like pretzels, nuts or crackers. Regardless of the portion size of the food, you won't find a bread roll or any dressings for the salad. Even when watching Simple Flying's brutally honest video on his A330neo experience, where they did the same service excluding the hot towel served. Nevertheless, I would still consider flying Delta again in the near future, hopefully when they retire those 767s. I paid €630 for this round trip to New York with the 20 kg checked bag for free, as well as both seats I booked also being free, which is pretty ironic given the amount of times I've been complaining about them. Overall, I'm giving this flight a 6.5 out of 10. Anyways, that's all for the review. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and if you haven't already, please do not forget to like this video, right here, slam the subscribe button, hit the notification bell to be notified to more of my uploads, and don't forget to follow me on Instagram, AJMurky_YT. So yeah, enjoy this landing and take care.
Welcome to Dublin, Ireland, where the local time is 8:20 a.m. You've experienced a 5-hour time change. Please stay seated with your seatbelt fastened and carry an ice stone until the captain has turned on the seatbelt sign. Be careful when opening overhead bins to avoid